to 90% destroyed, everybody. Now all those classical buildings, the churches, the museums, places like that, a law was passed that they had to be rebuilt in the original style. Nothing higher, wider or lower, but in the original style. If you happen to see a modern building, this is an old building, you see, the non-classical, turn of the century, 1900, that's one of the old buildings. But if you happen to see a modern building in between, that simply means that those people, the owners, they had contact with the local authorities and they stuck up a modern building. Personally speaking, I like these old classical buildings. A little bit of style about them, don't you think so? And here on the right hand side, maybe some of you've been there. This is, yeah. Are you going afterwards, are you? Okay, okay. Okay, so you'll be ending up at this site here, on the right here. It's called the Victualian Market, and it's been there since 1807. And right in the middle of that, are you high school or college? High school. Okay, and in the middle of the square, there's a lovely restaurant there where you can buy a soft drink, or sausage and kraut, or kraut and sausage, have a liver sausage roll, things like something Bavarian, yeah. But this is typical Munich since 1807, yeah. That little coffee shop there on the right there, where those people are standing around, that's where you can get a coffee for 50 cents, by the way. 50 cents, yeah. That's where the locals go. They, in the early morning, have a little chin wag with one another, talk about God and the whole world and the politics and the politicians, and have a coffee for 50 cents. Now look to the right, can you see that pretty maypole in the Bavarian colours, white, blue? The maypole, yeah? Now all the signs on the maypole are depicting what takes place at the Oktoberfest. Now surely you've heard of the Oktoberfest, haven't you? Of course you have. It's the biggest cake party in the world, isn't it? Yeah. But do you know, everybody, how long it's been going on for?
Long time. Forever.
How long?
Forever.
It's been going on since 1810. And at that time, Crown Prince Ludwig I, he married Princess Theresa von Sachsen-Hildburghausen. And the local Bavarians said, okay, our future king is marrying, we need to put on a show for him. And out of the meadow over to the sort of west of Munich, there's a meadow there. That's where they celebrated. There was horse racing on that day, merry-go-rounds, fun fairs, things like that. And do you know what was good on that day, everybody? Really good. Have a guess.
Beer.
Yeah, okay, beer. But there was free food all day long. For one day, free food and free drinks. And of course, beer was also included. The Oktoberfest takes place in the last week in September, first week in October. And the best time to go to the Oktoberfest is around about 9:30 in the morning. You go with your families there, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your wives or your husbands, and your family, walk around the fairground around about midday. You have a little snack somewhere, and walk around again in the afternoon, have a coffee. You can also have a coffee there, and round about 4 o'clock you disappear from that site. And why? There are masses of people there in the evening, you can imagine. You may not believe it, everybody, there are 6.5 million visitors every year. And do you know where 1 million come from? 1 million come from?
America.
US, absolutely, from America. But it's a great fun fair. It is something special. It's peaceful, and they have that on-par music. If you go there today, everybody, a litre of beer, 10 euros. You pay something like 14 euros for half a chicken, which sometimes consists of gristle and bone. So you're looking at something like 24 euro before you get started, right? Okay? But that includes that on-par music. So there you go. So it really is worth a visit. I go there about once when it's on, unless I happen to take a group there. If I take a group there, I just drop them off and say, have a good evening, because it can be quite hectic in the evenings, everybody. So we'll be travelling around the ring road. We see another old gate and another old gate, and we finish that, and then we go to Ludwig Street, and I'd like to take you out to the site of BMW. Is that okay? Have you seen the whole complex of BMW and the Olympic site?
Yeah.
Okay, you know all about the Olympic Games that took place in 1972?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm going to do when we get there. That's what I intend to do, yeah. And did you go into that new BMW showroom? Yeah. And you had a look at the most expensive car, which costs how much? 186,000 euros.
Oh my
Peanuts, huh? Peanuts. No, yeah. But I must say, I must pay those architects a compliment for the simple reason. So that building is something incredible. It's one of those modern buildings, the showroom. I'm not for modern buildings normally, but they planned that to fit into the whole environment of the Olympic site and BMW. It's quite a spectacular building, the BMW showroom. Been open for 3 years, by the way. Yeah.
A Catholic church.
And we're coming to another old gate around the corner, and I think if it's all right with you, everybody, it is important. Yeah, important. It's not important, but if one has a little knowledge of the local history, you know, then one can understand a town, a city or village, wherever you come from in the world, and it makes a little bit of sense. So I will introduce the local history of that, all right? It won't take long. It'll take about 5 minutes, and you have an idea who was ruling here in this part of the world. You know that Munich is the 3rd largest city in Germany with a population of 1.4 million, and you know there are 16 states in Germany, and Munich is the capital of the Bavarian state. The population of the Bavarian state at the moment, 1.4. I used to say years ago, you know, when the wall fell, the Berlin Wall fell, Munich was bursting at its seams, and it was. People were coming from East Germany down south to get started with jobs, BMW, Siemens, MTU, companies like that. Look to the right there, everybody, there's the other old gate, and on the other side of the road, that clock tower there, on the left there, that is one of the few Protestant churches here in Munich, by the religion here in Bavaria. Absolutely, yeah, 85% Roman Catholic. Yeah. Why was that church pulled down? Hitler had it blown up, torn down. He had the idea of building the underground system in this area for one spot there going south. That did not materialise. Why? You know, he had problems with the whole world. That's it. That's how it was. We'll be talking about that monster in a few minutes. There is the local tram in the middle of the road, in the Bavarian colours being...
Oh my God.
No, never blue, white. My God, you'll put your foot in it if you say to the local people, blue and white. It's white, blue, the Bavarian colours, always white, blue. Yeah, the Munich colours are black and yellow. Yeah. Now look to the left, everybody, where that Bocco truck is turning around there. There should be a church at the end of that road. Well, it was there this morning. It's still there. It's still there. Yeah. Now behind that church, that is where the Oktoberfest takes place every year. Just behind that church. So he celebrated, married in Munich, and celebrated out at that meadow. This road that we're in at the moment is called the Sonnenstrasse, the Sun Street. And when I came to Munich, just before the Olympic Games, there were 2 lanes on the right, 2 on the other side of the road. Yeah, traffic jams, the most congested area in Europe at that time. Now, updating, below this surface, 4 levels. Parking level, over to the right, bis hier rechts nach kurz anhalten. And there's a level for the underground and one for the suburban trains. There's also a pedestrian level, everybody, and yeah, shopping area. But it's not a part of Munich I suggest or recommend that you go shopping. You know, I like to go shopping on the surface. I like to see artificial lighting, if you follow what I mean. Now, if you happen to go down here on the right, that is also the start of the pedestrian area where that pretty fountain is. Can you see it on the right here? That fountain disappears in the winter month, and they put up a skating ring, yeah? The skating ring is put up for those professional skaters, you know, no greenhorn, so to speak. And that's where the professional skaters go there with their children and teach them, if they cannot ice skate, how to skate there. If you happen to be a greenhorn and you want to hire a pair of skates and make a fool of yourself on that skating ring, I can assure you there are enough people hanging around or standing around that skating ring watching you and waiting for you to fall flat on your nose. You make a fool of yourself. That's how this is. They stand around there all day and they drink that glue wine. You know what a glue wine is? It's a cheap red wine. They make it piping hot. They squeeze a lemon or orange in it, maybe a couple of cloves in it. And if you drink that in the winter months, ladies and gentlemen, there's hardly any alcohol in it. Malt wine. But when you drink that, you know what it's like when you drink it in the winter months? It certainly warms up the cockles of one's heart. Don't you agree? Yeah. Very, very tasty. Yeah, depending, of course, yeah, now. And once again, if you like churches, everybody, and you go down there on the left-hand side, there's a fantastic church called St. Michael's Church. You'll see it's camouflage because it's under construction. 2 minutes from here on the left-hand side, St. Michael's and the Dragon. And if you go into the crypt of that church, there are many, many members of the Wittelsbach family, W-I-T-T-E-L-S-B-A-C-H, the Wittelsbach family ruled here in Bavaria for 738 years. You haven't heard, you don't know anything about King Ludwig II, but if you go into that crypt, there, any day of the year, any time of the year, there are always flowers on King Ludwig's sarcophag or coffin. So in other words, they still love their old fairy tale king, okay? And that isn't a pedestrian area. Please look on the other side.